I would like to request your cooperation for our quality assurance process. It is imperative that the framing of doctors' videos meets our quality standards. Therefore, I kindly request you to maintain a stable position and ensure proper camera framing throughout the entire session. Additionally, please refrain from engaging in any other activities while the recording is live. Furthermore, in the event of low network bandwidth, I recommend sharing your presentation from your laptop, and for verbal communication, kindly join the session using your mobile phone. Your adherence to these guidelines will greatly contribute to the overall quality and effectiveness of the recording. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. We'll be going live in a moment. Greetings and a warm welcome to everyone. I am Asya, the assigned moderator from Clarnet. It is my pleasure to extend a heartfelt welcome to all the delegates joining us from across the country. We are indeed fortunate to have the valuable support of esteemed doctors, and I express my gratitude to each one of you for dedicating your time to be with us today. Allow me a moment to introduce our platform Clarnet to you all. It proudly stands as one of the largest live digital continuing medical education platforms in India, providing a space for doctors to create and share medical content. Now, I would like to extend a special welcome to today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Chitra Sriram Kulkarni ma'am, holding the degrees of MBBS, MD in Pediatrics, PGDAP, CDC, Kerala 2007. The topic of today's session is changing norms of adolescent growth patterns in the last 20 years. I would like to give you an overview of today's topic before we start the session. Over the past 20 years, adolescent growth patterns have shifted due to several factors. Improved nutrition and healthcare have led to earlier onset of puberty, with many adolescents reaching physical maturity sooner than previous generations. This acceleration in growth is often accompanied by increased height and earlier development of secondary sexual characteristics. However, lifestyle changes such as increased screen time and reduced physical activity have also contributed to a rise in obesity rates, affecting overall health and growth. Additionally, socioeconomic disparities continue to play a role with various variations in growth patterns observed across different populations. Environmental factors such as exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals may also influence these changes. The interplay of these factors underscores the complexity of adolescent growth and the need for tailored public health strategies to addressing emerging trends. So, without any further delay, I would like to hand over this session to Dr. Chitra Sriram Kulkarni, ma'am. Kindly proceed with your talk, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Clarinet, for giving me this opportunity. Shall we start our presentation now?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So I am a practicing pediatrician, and now it is almost 37 years of my practice, and we have witnessed a drastic change in adolescent growth pattern in last 20 years, especially right from 1995 onwards. There was a slow change, but in last 20 years there is a leap of maturity which is coming early to all the adolescents. So here we can see that an adolescent who was going to mature by 16 or 18 years of age is now maturing at around 12 years of age. And we can see that the girls are getting their menstrual periods at around 9.5 or 10 years of age. So considering the changes which are there in environment, we have found out that there is lot of use of chemicals in our day-to-day life. They are called as endocrine disruptors. The body clock, the orchestra, which is controlled by pituitary gland of our brain, is being nagged all the time because of these chemicals and preservatives. And the secretion of hormone is changed. Secondly, there is high intake of processed food. What do you mean by processed food? See, any product which is coming from farm to a vendor and like vegetable and which is coming to your home. Take example of an apple. When we cut it, it gets rotten very easily. Within few minutes, you can see that it is blackening out. That is food, that is fresh food. घर का खाना भी 1.5 दिन में खराब हो जाता है. And we have to throw it off. But the same food item, when it goes to factory, it is processed, reprocessed, flavored, dehydrated, and then it comes out as a product. It is no longer a edible food actually, but the new generation is fond of that because of its taste. The consumption of this packaged food has tremendously increased in last 20 years. जहां भी गए दुकान में वो लंबी लंबी मालाएं रंग वाली लगाए दिखती है. Similarly, the dairy product consumption has also increased. It is not only milk like previously. All the families, they used to prepare curd at home, but no, now they buy it from a Apna Bazaar or a store, grocery store. Similarly, paneer, cheese, spreads, buttermilk, milk, as well as ghee. Everything, the dairy product in their daily consumption has definitely increased. And the third is sweet tooth. The sugars in our daily life. A child's small lunch box, even for kindergarten or a playgroup, contains some sweet. So this has made an effect on their growth pattern. The third important thing is chronic stress. This generation is called as anxious generation. They are always tense. First, for getting up, then competing, then going to school, maintaining the pattern, getting good marks. Then the parents are very eager to send them to some extracurricular activity. There also they are expected to perform. Then their extra tuition classes are there. And by the time they come back home, they are very, very exhausted. And the parents are also exhausted. So overall, stress has increased the cortisol level in the blood, which is secreted as for flight or fight reaction to a human body for millions of years of age. And why human body? Any living thing or animal who can run or fight. And then when this cortisol level is increased, definitely this is an endocrine disruption and which can cause early maturation, increased blood pressure and whatnot. The fourth thing is overall affordability of general public has increased, and so the nutrition has also improved. Improved nutrition may have caused the early maturation. Like in our state of Punjab, there was an age-old saying that जब लड़की बड़ी होती है तो उसको खाना थोड़ा कम दो. क्यों? To delay the puberty. So if there is excess of nutrition, the puberty may hit early. This can happen in our India also, where the income has increased and so the variety of foodstuff and nutritional value has also increased. So just now she talked about endocrine disruptor chemicals. These chemicals are mainly pesticides which are ad lib used in agriculture and gardening. All our flowers and fruits are being injected with growth hormone for a better yield. Phthalates also found in plastic. The cosmetics which contain dead animals' fat and some cholesterol items are absorbed through skin and they affect our hormonal system. Bisphenol, BPA, is found to be responsible for various type of cancers, fetal maturation, as well as getting thyroid problem or high blood pressure. So the drinking of potable water through a plastic bottle has also changed our hormonal cycle, and that can cause variety of diseases. Should we be innocent bystander of all these endocrine disrupting chemicals? No, we have to do something for ourselves to prevent this. The diet which we just talked, that which is very rich in dairy products, through which we get the hormones which are injected or fed to those animals, that has to cut down. Limit your non-veg intake twice a week. Reduce your milk intake. Previously in 90s or up to 2000, we used to get children where the mothers proudly said, "Oh, मेरा बच्चा 1.5-2 लीटर दूध दिन भर में पी लेता है." And there we can get nowadays obesity plus anemia. Cow milk protein allergy is a hidden cause of that nutritional anemia and obesity. Are we aware of that? May not be. And there we have to restrict the milk intake to only 2 times a day. For a child, 200 ml milk in morning before going to school or in the night before going to bed, and that too without sugar, is advisable for calcium requirement where the toddler age group is there. The older adults or the older children and adolescents can go more for food grains for their calcium intake. And the dairy products which are having these hormones have to be reduced in the quantity. Nowadays, what we have found that it is either a single child family, again very much stressed about the health of that child, or hum do hamare do. And there the parents keep on giving them, bribing them with lot of sweets and sugars and chocolate. And why parents? Even grandparents also, which can cause metabolic syndromes in these kids right from beginning. Believe me, the cholesterol issue, when it is seen, previously it was seen in 40s, but nowadays it is seen in 20 and 30s. And the starting of that hardening of blood vessel, it may starts at 3 years of age. So we have to stop this somewhere. To addition to this dietary issue and environmental factors, there is a chronic stress. Stress of social media. Instagram, reels, videos, status updates. What they say, ये सब दिखावा है. It is just a mask. But with that, the young generation is getting more and more anxious, and along with anxiety, there is a depression. अरे उसके पास है, मेरे पास नहीं है. Even the school children, they crave for gadgets. They crave for material things. And why not for health? Why not for sports activities? Why not for art? So why we are pulling them to adulthood so early through our behavior of comparison with other children? Each and every child is different. Accept the child as it is. Tell them that we love you, not your marks. The academic pressures from parents have to reduce. See that they are comfortable and happy doing their studies and going to school. Third thing is economic uncertainty. Because of COVID times, there is a huge setback to the financial status of many families. There is a lot of anxiety which is percolated in adolescents because of this. So, how to make them aware of this, that we are there to fight for you, we are there to protect you, and doing good things will definitely increase the confidence. So, how to reduce this anxiety? When we do all household chores together, it increases the bonding. Spending your time with a child, non-academic conversation, telling a story, going for a walk, having some exercise together, and playing board games is always advisable to reduce the tensions between the family. And it may open up the anxieties of your child. And this is a controversial topic of improved nutrition. They say that there is good availability of food all over. And purposefully, I have kept this picture as a very healthy diet where more than half of the plate is filled of salads, fruits, vegetables, which our younger generation is not at all interested. Instead of that, they are always interested in processed food and food which is very tasty. Why we are forgetting whole grains, our millets? 18 type of millets are available in India, which will give very good amount of iron, calcium and fiber. We have to reduce our intake of processed wheat, maida items in our day-to-day life. Other good part, along with improved nutrition, is education and awareness about the genetically modified food and organic food. Our eating habits, when we control, definitely there is a ray of hope. And most of the overweight or obese adolescents may be having iron, B complex and vitamin D deficiencies, where we have to supplement, and the awareness of these deficiencies has definitely increased and it may help to improve. How to make them more happy and how to reduce the anxiety? That is by a group play activity, where there is a team. When there is a team, there is always either victory or a loss. And a child, when they go for training and day-to-day matches, where they can see that, oh, the other team, which was not victorious yesterday, has excelled today. And then they normalize their emotion. Household chores also help to increase the physical activity. But believe me, there are a lot of now machines, gadgets, and the total physical activity, which was for household chores, they have reduced. Remember, many of the children used to go walking to their school. At least 1.5 to 2 kilometers of walking in the school was very, very helpful. But nowadays, we cannot take that risk because of the vehicular accidents. Another important thing to reduce their physical activity is increase screen time. Many of the times, we have seen that both the parents are working and the toddler or a younger child is left at home with help of either a house help or grandparents or kept in creche and daycare. There what they do? They switch on a television with a big screen and it is expected for the child to be on sofa with the eyes glued to that screen. Where is the physical activity then? It is very easy for the caretakers or grandparents because they don't have to observe that child. And that is the way the urge to explore new things has reduced, because scientifically it has been proved that watching screen reduces your brain activity. Outdoor play, because of various reasons and working parents, may be an issue in middle class or lower middle class families. This is a common picture. Each person in the family is having their own cell phone and their eyes are glued to that screen wherever they are. The family is together, but they are not emotionally attached to each other. They are in their own world. Excessive screen time has ruined our muscle power, hormones, as well as digestive system. One child or two child family leads to overprotection of these children, and they are not allowed to go on of their own on the road or play, or they are always guarded what they are taking and how they are on the road or how they are during their leisure time. Everything, when reduced to minimum physical activity, will increase the obesity, and that we all know. It is a 3 a.m. kid. Most of the houses are having their children separate bedrooms. What they do inside, many of the times, we are not allowed to see. They put the knob in non-disturb mode and they do whatever they want. The parents also come home late, many of the time because of corporate job. Father arrives at around 11 p.m. in the night and all are waiting to have dinner with them. So there is a shift of sleep pattern. 8 to 10 hours of sleep is expected till 6 to 7 years of age. Beyond 10 years of age, at the starting of puberty, we still stick to 8 hours sleep. But because of this changing work habits of parents, the child is not able to get sleep. And the study shows that it is just 6 hours or less than that. A school-going child gets the sleep. And then he or she body is not well relaxed and always stressed. Amazon and Netflix, with their attractive advertisement and colorful screens, compete with the sleep. The blue light prevents melatonin secretion, and there are always altered growth trajectories. Everything leads to the stress, which leads to earlier onset of puberty, and along with this, the environmental and epigenetic factors always affect the gene expression. So with this younger generation, we are still more worried about their next generation. So what are the type of malnutrition which we see? It might be stunting, means less height, proportionately small child, or wasting, that means the height is good, but the weight is not matching to that height. And third is overnutrition, overweight or obesity. Why this has happened? In previous generation, there was many ladies in home, kaki, mami, chachi, dadi, nani. Somebody used to be there to take care of the child, their feeding time, and their proper homemade nutrition. But because of shifting from a joint family to nuclear family, the availability of fresh and freshly prepared homemade food has reduced. People are shifting to Swiggy and Zomato, where the nutrition part is less and the taste part is more. So, less nutritional but fulfilling meals are there in the family in most of the homes by evening or early mornings. Many of the families have pushed below poverty line and they cannot afford the nutritious food, and increase anxiety and stress level to all family members. And many of the times children in India are made to work also. The parents are so scared to go against their child wish that they give whatever they demand. This is the other part of story. One time it is a malnutrition, another is malnutrition. It's famous tale. The good part is that the infectious diseases have reduced because of proper vaccination, good education, the sanitation has a better say, and we get less diarrheas or worm infestation. But the nutrition related problems, non-communicable diseases like high cholesterol, heart attack, kidney failure, high blood pressure, and PCODs, they have increased. There is an increasing tendency of educated parents to go for growth hormone therapy. And again, it can be a disastrous result after 20 to 30 years of age, which they may not be aware of. So what are the results of all these issues? There is increased speed of growth. Chalo, chalo, jaldi procreate karo, human race may die. And there is earlier onset of puberty in girls. There is altered body composition of the young generation. Means the fat has increased and there is no muscle challenge, there is no physical activity. So the decreased muscle mass is seen. Some children grow very tall and they grow very tall than their mid-parental height. And some children of good parental, mid-parental height, they get less height. There is exponential increase in the eating disorders in children. Picky eaters, and many of the times the parents say that we give variety of food. Everything is available in the house, but the child doesn't eat. The eating disorder has increased because of readily available processed food, which is much more tasty. It contains preservatives, coloring, and flavoring agents. All these things are liver toxins in larger quantities. And because of the adolescent brain, where they cannot think about long term, they just are concentrating on the tastiness of that product. It is our responsibility to tell them that packaged food is inviting kidney failure or high blood pressure and cholesterol problems in their early adulthood. Earlier menarche pushed the girls to more vulnerability of sexual abuse. These early bloomers, you can say, are always targeted, and we have to be more careful about that. So what is our advice as a doctor, as an adolescent specialist? We have to tell each and every child who may come to you as a trivial problem of cough, cold, fever, diarrhea, bronchiolitis, or pneumonia, or some cuts for tetanus injection. Talk with them with 1 extra minute to tell that for your growth, nutrition is 80%. Nutritional change has to be there. Monday to Friday, no outside food. Second important thing is hydration. Pani nahi pite hai. They don't want to go to loo in the school, and so the girls, they don't want to drink water. Stasis can increase the urine infection, constipation, and other problems. How to reduce the stress? When you do household chores, talk with each other, spend time of your weekends with the less privileged society, and practice gratitude, the stress management can be done. Inculcate positive body image through positive thought process in this developing mind. Obese or overweight adolescent, may it be a girl or child, is always targeted and they feel depressed. They are having negative body image. But when we tell that these are the good things which you have to remember, when you get these negative thoughts, will help that child that yes, my parents love me, my parents trust me, and then it will increase the confidence in their mind. Please, please, please tell them that avoid excess sugars. Sugar in each meal. Like many of the times, kids are having breakfast, lunch, dinner, then a mid-morning snacks and a mid-evening snacks. All these 5 foods, we are supposed to avoid sugars on daily basis and no caffeine. Then when some disorder comes to you, always insists that change in diet, a good exercise which causes good amount of sweating, and 8 to 10 hours of sleep is very important for growth and repair. Always ask them to plot their height and weight every 3 months so that we can pick up the stunted population or arrest of the growth early and then do medical management by doing hormonal assessment. Many of the parents, they come for increase in the height with their undue expectation that we will write some 1 or 2 syrups and tablet and the child's height will start increasing. But always tell them about genetic consideration, and it will be a mid-parental height which will tell the child's target height. How to take that? When we have to plot on a growth chart, Indian standards are available now on IAP website and our Adolescent Health Academy website. There you can plot blue for boys and pink chart for girls. When we find out some child is not growing properly, we have to have a comprehensive team approach towards that child. It is the whole society's responsibility. Mother, father, parents, school, friends, and the neighbors. Together, along with the practitioner, the child specialist, or a family physician, can help that child to grow to its optimal capacity. We shall overcome this hurdle. हम होंगे कामयाब by imparting correct knowledge and not the spoon feeding of social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful deliberation and informative content, ma'am. And ma'am, we have received a few questions from our participating doctors. So may I have your permission to present them, ma'am?
Sure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So with your permission, I'm sharing the screen, ma'am.
Yeah. I have to stop share my screen first, no? Just a second.
No, ma'am, that is fine.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, please.
I hope my screen is visible, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. This is the first question, ma'am. So please share your insights on this.
What? Can you please read out? It's black and white.
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure. What role do changes in diet and nutrition play in the shifting growth patterns of adolescents?
Yeah, diet and nutrition is very, very important. It is having more than 80% of the role in shifting growth patterns, because in processed food, they get lot of excess sugars, which spikes up the insulin, and they get more and more craving for the processed food or sugary food. This leads to obesity and increase in the fat content. So increased weight also is deleterious. And then the growth pattern is like that all the dairy products or the processed food are having some chemical which have bad effect on the hormonal cycle, which leads to PCOD many of the times. And the eggs or the livestock is having direct growth hormone or the hormones fed to the cow and injected to cow to get more milk, is having effect on the child's or the girl's growth pattern, and they get early menarche. Sometimes they go for more hair growth, and the boys also mature early. Please
So,
read
ma'am,
out.
shall I read out? Yes, ma'am. The next question is, have the changes in growth patterns led to an increase in certain health issues or conditions, such as obesity or early onset of puberty?
Yeah, definitely. Because of the earlier maturation, the aging process has also started early. And the diseases which we used to see in 50s and 60s in last generation, we are getting it in young adults. So the overall life expectancy of this young generation is in question now. The WHO has given a position paper over this. And very sorry to share with you that the WHO has told that the parents may have to see the end of their children in early adulthood.
Shall we move forward, ma'am, to the next
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So the next question is, what research gaps exist regarding adolescent growth patterns and how can we address them moving forward?
Oh, great question. I really like that. And see, everybody is interested in the disease and treatment of disease. Why we cannot do something to prevent this? So if we get proper education to the parents and the end consumer of all these processed food, and tell them the problem of getting various type of cancers or cholesterol, heart disease, kidney problem, and blood pressure, we may make certain impactful changes in their growth. And a research is needed with a double-blind control trial of a children or like a certain school where they get midday meal like that, to have a proper nutritious food, and the other school where they get their own dabba from their house, and then compare and find out that the nutritious food which is given to the children and not having any access to any processed food, how they grow, how their cholesterol levels are there. This type of research is definitely needed. And secondly, we are from Raigad, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, and Raigad branch of Adolescent Health Academy, where I am a chairperson. We are doing a ongoing research where we do measurements of overweight and obese children and give them dietary advice, where we check them again after 3 months, then 6 months, and found very good result with the advice and counseling. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, these were the few questions which were shared by the participating doctors. And thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing the insights and answering all the inquiries of the participating doctors so well. And we are glad that we conducted a session with you on our platform. So,
So
ma'am,
will
thank you
you
so
please
much.
send me video recording?
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful deliberation and insightful content. And thank you to all the doctors for sharing your time with us on the platform. Lastly, before ending the live, we would request you all to follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram pages to stay updated on the latest medical information. So, with everyone's approval, we are concluding this session here, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank you.
for
Thanks for
your
giving the
invaluable time.
opportunity. Thank you. Bye.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much. So we are ending the session
Yeah.
here. Good night,
Thanks.
everyone.
Good night.